Enough already. Do you know, Ian, I was up a lot last night, and it was my script going, what the f*** talk about tomorrow? You can't talk about that. I've written a book. But this book is a story of unplanning. So I want to talk to you about unplanning. Okay? They say when you write a book, you should go onto Amazon and research your title. Or do something clever, like a little pay-per-click campaign to figure out what the title should be and all that kind of stuff. I didn't do that. I was on my BC course, I was talking to Liz, and she listened to my story in the week, and she went, you should call your book Life Beyond Money. And I went, that's fantastic. And that's the name of the book. Now, interestingly enough, when I go to Amazon, the next book along is How to Create Your Financial Wealth Plan. And the one underneath that is What to do when you're financially damaged. You know? So I'm thinking, that's the perfect place to have my book, you know? Because somebody will be sitting there going, I'm financially damaged, but what is this book, Life Beyond Money? That could be interesting. So maybe there are other ways of doing it. Unplanning. Now, I didn't even set out to write a book. I was really working hard on building another business. But I had this time slot on the 8:23 from Stourbridge Junction to London Marylebone regularly when I was off down to London for business. And I just thought, what am I going to do with this time? I could plug in and carry on working. No, I quite like writing, so I'll write something. So I ended up with, and it turns out, that I've got 32 modules, as Richard calls it, all in the book. They're all there. And they were written in the moment, in the way that I was feeling, their me, you know, their honesty on the page, I hope, anyway. That's the way I wrote it. Unplanning. I didn't even know I had to write modules at that point. I just wrote them. I didn't even know I was writing a book at that point. Great, this unplanning. The next step in the unplanning came for me when I came on the first speaker course. I didn't even know why I needed to come on the last speaker course. I just came. Because I've done like corporate speaking, I've done stuff in front of performance coaching for large groups, and I'm going, oh, I can speak. What's the problem? But for some reason I had to come in, and the reason was to find my message. And the message is that there are so many people that haven't got as far as we've got out there that are really struggling. Maybe you've coached them, maybe they're executives who's sitting in their office, in their executive office, waiting for that knock on the door for somebody to come along and point out what a fraud they are, because that's what they think. They've got insecurities. Maybe it's a guy, I know a guy who's got, he's got 100 grand of debt, and he's just rotating it round the cards. Ever tried that game? Waiting for the next 0% balance offer to come in, so you can transfer as much as possible to that and get rid of it for a year. Get rid of that worry for a year. But in the back of your mind, you know it's all there. Have you been there? There are loads of people in loads of different situations, and they think it's so complicated. They think they're in a situation they're never going to get out of. And we can help all those people. And that's why I wrote the book. And that's the message I got on the day, which was fantastic. So up until that point, I'd written all this stuff. And I've written it kind of for me, great. And but coming to that speaker's day was like, right, I've got to get this out there now. There's a reason for it to be out there, because some people are going to find out that there's another way from this book. And so then I got to the point of publishing the book, and my script kicked in. I looked, because it's got a nice bit in it, which is my story. And I looked at that and I go, whoa, will anybody want to hear this story? Oh, they can criticise me something rotten for some of the stuff that I did, good and bad, in this. And the answer is a huge learning for me, which is it's just a story. Your past doesn't define you at all. It's who you are now, it's who you are tomorrow that defines you. And so I don't mind getting that story out there, and it will help people. I've already had some great feedback on it, and it's hardly out in the world. So I'm going to finish this by, as I've got to run short, by asking you, take a look at the book. If it's not for you, that's fine, but maybe there's somebody you know that would benefit from reading the book, because it's a signpost. If you're feeling like you're looking for another way of dealing with the way your life seems to be treating you, then have a read of the book, you'll find something. And that's all it's meant to be. So if you can help me do that, that's fine, no pressure. But I'm on my journey now. I've got 3 or 4 speaker slots lined up. I've got the book, I've got a website with online product coming through. It's just starting to happen, and I'm really looking forward to seeing everything great that we're all going to do in the future.
Thank you. Brilliant.